Welcome back. Well, no, welcome back to me. Welcome back to No More Future. For those who have chimed in, yes, I am going back to my roots. Well, specifically, I saw the update and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Also, for those who are waiting for Corrupted Kingdoms, yeah, I'm gonna give it. I don't know when this video is gonna pop up. It might be within the same week or whatever. End of November, everyone. Calm down, okay? Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share. You know what I'm doing. Let's get back to the game, honestly. Some of you might be saying, "Oh, why are you playing this game again?" But for me, the story has always hooked me in. I usually give these games, no, give these games like a couple hours, something. I play it, and if it gets me like not only curious but interested in it, I'ma keep on rolling. And the story got me hooked. The sounds of civilization, blissfully unaware of what happened in its sinister underbelly, still resonate beyond the buildings around you, a never-ending symphony of people and things, always playing just out of reach. But your mind surround. Wait, but your what? Where's the mind here? I think I'm hallucinating, everyone. I'm fucking going bonkers here. But going back to the game and reading it, but your immediate surroundings are pure quiet, and they have been for quite a while. Ever since you ran from your misdeeds and hid yourself in this forgotten corner of shadow and neglect. A place so remote, so willfully uninspiring, you never gaze at it on a regular day, much less set foot in. Yet now it houses your broken and battered body, amid the dumpsters and your trash, as well as what remains of your conscience. Yikes! Needless to say, you've had better days. You've had far, far better days. Are you alright? Yikes. Okay, Nats, I'm all good. Sister, I'm all good. A voice you can barely hear amid the swirl of darkness that now inhabits your thoughts. It's been a while since you last spoke. Are you sure you don't need anything? In your heart, you no longer have the strength to even answer anymore. The idea of talking, of thinking, is now so profoundly disconnected from your essence that it feels almost unnatural. And yet, thinking is all you can do at this point. Think back to what you've just been through, of what you just did. Reliving your memories like an endless tape that rewinds as soon as you reach the end. A shame that will haunt you for as long as you live. I can't believe I did that to a person. What was I thinking? How did it come to this? These and many other questions you repeat to yourself interminably and without mercy. Only this time you get an answer. It wasn't your fault. He was the one who tagged you and I pulled the trigger. I still helped you do it. I put us in that situation in the first place. You strike back, angrier than ever, angry with yourself. I killed the man, Natalie. I killed a synthetic, and there's no excusing it, no forgiving it. An uncomfortable silence follows, stretching toward what feels like infinity, at least until you hear the Labrador's panicked voice again. We still don't know that. Synthetic bodies are quite sturdy, and black boxes are. My tail blew up in his face. You counter once more, your vision growing fuzzier despite the lack of tears. The light, the char, the smoke. I saw it all happen before my eyes. I heard it. I smelled it. And then it was over. Just like that. Metal and wire. An ooze leaking out. A body now lifeless once again. Natalie hesitates to. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that, man. It's like you saw someone, well, yeah, kill something or kill someone for the first time. How do you comfort them, right? It's one of the scenarios. Let's take it back. Your friend has encountered or has experienced something traumatic. How, I don't know, man. I don't know how to console someone like that. I guess just being there, talking things out slowly. I don't want to jump in, put in some conclusions here and there without, really letting them drive themselves throughout the situation. I'm no expert, but I guess it kind of helps doing that. We did what we had to, Isaac. I mean, He was gonna kill you. He almost killed you. She shouts on the other end, exasperated, and while you don't doubt she's right for a second, the thought is anything but reassuring. We really lucked out there at the end. Had he realized what was going on, things could have ended badly for us. For me. You correct the staggered Labrador, though it matters little in the end. I mean, I suppose you're not wrong. I lucked out, right? Didn't I? Then why does it still feel so hollow inside? You ponder aloud, silencing your hander in an instant, an outcome you immediately resent. You don't blame Natalie for what she did. Not really. She did her best to help you, even before everything went south. Did what she could to get you out of there, while there was still hope. If only you'd listened. How you feel now is normal. It's how anyone would feel in your position. Natalie whispers into your ears, still trying as hard as she can to keep you whole. I know you're afraid and anxious and a lot of things, really, but just give it time, alright? Mary's coming your way as we speak. She's almost there. She'll fix everything, I promise. Now there's a nice thought, if you've ever heard one. For a moment, you can almost imagine the feline in your head, sweeping away all your misdeeds with a broom or vacuum, concealing them from the world, just as you now do yourself. But the truth is, it's even harder to believe than a bottomless hole opening up beneath your feet and swallowing you whole. Another solution you'd be hard-pressed to refuse in your condition. All of a sudden, the sounds of a passing car break the monotony of your thoughts. It's not the first that drove by ever since you came here, but it is the loudest by fair margin. And by the sound of it, the biggest and the fastest. And it's only growing closer by the moment. Something large and imposing, a cross between a van and a limousine, invades the neighborhood with the ferocity of a hungry beast, only to come at an abrupt stop in the middle of the street opposite your refuge. Its dark exterior and even darker windows make it impossible to discern what lies inside, but its impetuous arrival leaves little doubt as to its purpose. Rawr, if it isn't Mary. The doors near the back blast open like a rocket, and out comes a woman more tried than you thought possible. Her eyes dart around the place for a split second, looking for someone, and have no trouble finding what remains of you in your obvious and distasteful hiding place. Get in. It sounds like your mother did when she knew you'd messed up somewhere, angry, serious, disappointed. And though your mind is still replaying the events from earlier and can barely process her command, your body, driven by another kind of repetition, obeys. The first step is the hardest, the second just as much. But then, like a rat scurrying in a sewer, you wiggle out of your hideaway, run across the street like one would when it rains, and hide away inside your monstrous vehicle. Wow, it's like a Batmobile, the Bat Van. It's got all the techie stuff, you know? It's like portable fixer-upper. Inside, it feels as though you stepped into a laboratory room rather than a van. Yeah, exactly. There's enough space to comfortably move around with your head held high, as well as a large chair reminiscent of the one in your apartment that Mary wastes no time ushering you to. As the doors close behind you, you strap yourself to its mechanisms, like you've done many times before, and ready yourself for whatever is to come. Out of the corner of your visor, the one that still works, you spot Mary approaching you with an anxious look in her eyes and a certain heaviness to her steps. Just like your parents, right? When they found out you fucked up. Now they gotta solve the mess. And you. Well, you are the mess, I guess. The vehicle's sudden movement pushes her slightly off balance, but she quickly regains it as soon as everything stabilizes. Meanwhile, the van drives on, slower than before, heading to destinations unknown. As the woman grows closer, you briefly ponder what you should say to her, how best to explain your reckless behavior. But your inquiries return nothing but blanks, as though even your computerized mind couldn't conjure an excuse. Thank you for the help, Natalie. I'll take it from here. I think she's been listening in, chiming in, stabilizing our mind, our emotions, at least. No answer comes from within your head, and the silence tells you all you need. The link between you and your handler is quickly severed without a word, leaving you alone at the sole mercy of your curator. Alright then, let's begin. The woman whispers calm and composed, inspiring even more fear out of you than you could have possibly imagined. Yeah, just like, it gets even freakier. Like, it's like your parent, exactly. If you fucked up, you fucked up. You're expecting a shouting match, an angry, bellowing, concerned parent, but no, they're calm. It unsettles even me, sleepyheads, and those who are watching who are new. Though you expected harsh words to immediately erupt out of Mary's mouth, her first order of business appears a fair bit more practical. Try to hold still if you can. It'll let us move along quicker. At the snap of her fingers, something begins to move behind your chair. Something fast and noisy and numerous. It's unclear what they are at first. So disparate. Wait, it's disparate. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Disparate. They are from anything you've ever seen, but eventually their polygonal, almost abstract features and ability to levitate off the ground clues you into their true nature. Drones. Oh, cool. You know what? For those who are computer techie out there, I mean, computer engineers in general, in tech and science and algorithms or whatever, for I guess comp sci. Wouldn't it be cool to have like little small pea-size or small, like real small size robots, like it's like Warhammer 40k but on a smaller scale, and you could order them around to roam your house. They're like really small, but small enough. They have guns and they like kill roaches and things that you don't want in your house. I don't know, it's a cool concept, but I don't know how anyone's gonna do that. Okay, going back to the game, smaller than the ones you're accustomed to for sure, a lot more delicate in their movements, armed with tiny scalpels, forceps, and the occasional blowtorch. They quickly surround you like a team of medics at an operating table. Though the sight is slightly off-putting at first, it becomes less frightening as you remember something you once heard the felines say. Smaller, cheaper, and more compact than ever. You mumble to yourself, inspiring a faint smile on the woman's face. Ah, you remember that broadcast, and I'm sure you understand why I'm letting them handle the procedure and not myself. They're the latest model, so you can expect a few hiccups in their performance. However, it will still hurt on occasion. She turns to face you once again, a dead serious look in her eyes. You're still in time to turn off your pain receptors if you so desire. I know you had your reservations earlier, but, well, just something to consider. Like a mother. She is old, by the way. She looks kind of young, but she's like... She's not... I'm not sure if her age was revealed. I can't remember. It's been some time, a man and woman and people watching. They, them, it. Yeah. She like... pushing 50? I might be wrong. No, she's actually quite older. The life expectancy in this game is a bit higher, right? Age-wise. Going back to the game and reading it out loud, you're more surprised by the fact that Mary's affording you this chance than by the opportunity itself. Though you're a bit tempted at first, it doesn't take long for you to reach a foregone conclusion. No point hiding from this. I've been through worse already. Besides, I deserve this. Ooh, she don't like that. But ultimately shows no opposition to her decision. Very well, then let's get this underway. In but a flash, the drones begin to swarm your body with ruthless efficiency, like a squadron of ants all over your skin. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. The idea that I think a lot of people have had this idea, but they just don't know like how to create that thing. Like that small fucking, it's like a small robo dude, woman. I don't know what the design is, but they have weapons, guns, and shit. Not enough to kill a human, but just enough to like, form a squad. Kill some roaches here and there. You don't have to buy Bygone or Raid, not Shadow Legends, but something to kind of saves money. It's like an investment thing. It's a concept, okay? I'm not the one making it. No, I don't know if anyone's making it. I get it. It's kind of expensive and stupid. It's like the maintenance, and then those little like tiny creatures should be like durable and whatnot. I don't fucking know. but it's a cool idea. Meanwhile, the chair beneath you does what it can to ease the sensation and keep you still. You know why I'm saying that idea? Why not keep it to myself? I don't know, because I can't really do anything with that idea. I'm not in the field of making something like that. I'm not. And right now, I don't have that kind of interest to dive in that field. Okay. Alright, going back to the game. I'm yapping. I'm sidetracked so bad right now. Meanwhile, the chair beneath you does what it can to ease the sensation and keep you still, occasionally joining it to repair what it can. You can almost liken it to a spot treatment of sorts were it not for... ow. The pain. Ow? What's that all about? Don't tell me all it took was a little hurt to get you to walk back all that bravado just now. Mary pokes fun at her condition with a half-hearted smile, adding insult to your already extensive injuries. And while you don't blame her for that in the least, this once, something about her demeanor leaves you dithering. You don't seem upset, at least. That's a cool word, dithering. I might write that down. That's I don't know that word. Wow. At least not as much as you should be. The woman paused for a second, wondering how best to answer you, no doubt thinking the same things Natalie did when she was trying to reach you earlier. I am upset. I'm upset seeing you like... That's not what I'm talking about. Oh, wait, man. That's not what I'm talking about. You interrupt her before she can dodge the topic, as she is wont to do. Are you still gonna act like my feelings and freedoms are more important than anything else? Even now? I almost died today, Mary, over nothing. Decades of research in pursuit of your goals, billions of dollars to create this body, and I almost threw it all. You threw yourself into the fray to rescue two people you cared about. Should I be upset about that? That seems like a very heroic thing to do. Damn, she's like a mother of some sorts. Is that the play by her name? Is that why it's Mary, or I'm wrong? I am Catholic, but I'm not deep diving on this. You know, it's like Mary, and she had the lamb. That's it's a song. I know it's a nursery rhyme, but shouldn't you? You question, clueless, and confused. Don't you feel even the slightest bit angry with me over what I did, over what I could have lost, over me almost dying again? Mary hesitates to answer, evidently seeing some reason in your words. Nevertheless, wait, did I missed a period there. A symbol for of stopping or the end of a sentence. Would you be happy if I was? Would it make you feel better? So she isn't. Never before has an answer so obvious felt so dumbfounding to hear. But she is smart, so she's already like freaking mental gymnastics these things, and she said, you know what? No, he did good. Kind of did good, you know. So he's alive. I guess it's good. I really don't know what to think anymore. Feels like no matter how many mistakes I make, you'll still greet me with a smile and act all reassuring, like, do you really care about this project so little you let me get away with anything? No, I think it's the opposite. I kind of get Isaac's perspective, but I also understand Mary's perspective. She lets him get away with anything because he is the project. He is... What, they're gonna like be an asshole to him? And what if he decides, I don't want to do this anymore, just end my programming, Alt F4, freaking delete System 32 in my fucking brain or whatever. Crash it all, I guess. Freaking black screen of death me, you know? All over your writhing body, the drones work tirelessly to fix you in spite of your outbursts. Yet somehow, like, I'm sorry, going back to the topic, I was like saying that if Isaac gets, they know he's in a depressive state. I ain't calling out depression here. Depressive state. So I'm no expert, so I don't want to say that. But they already know about that. He's a bit more inclined to sacrifice himself or just to be done with it. They're trying to avoid that. Okay, they're balancing him out, and I guess yes, people who have some form of depression do get emotional. Wow, oh, crazy. I mean, if they weren't emotional, they wouldn't be in that state. You think they're not, but they're holding it in, my man, like a bad shit. But they can't release it since people would be like, oh, this guy's weird. Oh. Yeah. Going back to the game, I was thinking I'm sidetracked. Sorry for the dev right here for was it It was Sedge, correct me, and by Riz. Ah man, I'm fucking up the names. I'm just getting sidetracked. Of course, that's saying nothing of the offended look on the woman's visage. What does visage mean? Isn't it like aura? Not demeanor. Demeanor is a bit more like in emotional intention or feeling. Like it kind of feels like this is your demeanor and your standpoint. Is that what you believe you made a mistake? She asked aloud, quieting you in an instant. That's your decision, you know? Only you can decide whether what you did was right or wrong. Whether you feel any regret over your actions or not. So tell me, do you? Ooh, she got that stern mother look, you know, scolding her son. She shoots an inquisitive glare your way and you find yourself whimpering under her gaze. Yeah? When you got that death stare from your father, or no, your father doesn't do death stares. He just stands up and you know you're about to get an ass whooping, you know? Or your mother just, instead of being mad, she just stares at you with a deathly gaze. And that's when you know, it's like, you know, like Ghost Rider? It's like pen and stare. It's kind of like that. It burns your soul. Or to your soul. Yeah. Going back to the game, turning away from her, you start to wonder whether you truly do feel any regret over what you did, or merely feel as though you should. It's merely a feeling that he should. We've all been there. Feels like, oh, I feel like this is on me. And even though if everybody says, even if the event, action, whatever, all the fucking things that we could think of, the variables of this matter, all point out to you, not needing to feel guilt about it because it's not in your control, but in some weird sense, you feel like you should have some kind of guilt, some kind of blame, some kind of consequence. Or maybe that's just me, sleepyheads. I'm fucking going crazy here. Sorry for the F-bombs. The results, once again, are inconclusive. I suppose I could chastise you for acting so rashly, for going against Jasper's wishes, for putting Pandora's reputation in jeopardy. Again. And all of my work for that matter. Our work. She says, her anger mellowing out into indecisiveness, and then hardening once more to sheer conviction. But then again, think about this. Whoa. If he died to save 2 people, and not in his programming, nothing in that, and then he also killed another synthetic. But then again, someone could argue it's a synthetic. It still kind of follows the rule of, you know, robots can't really hurt humans, but they can fuck up, you know, fellow robots or machines. Let's remove robots, but machines or machines with artificial intelligence in them, something like that. I don't know. I'm thinking about the scenario here. If he was like in a senator's committee, you know, in a public hearing or whatever, there's some counter arguments to be made there. But then what am I doing here? Why am I making synthetics? Why engineer technology that lets people live again if all they can live in is a bunch of cages? I know I'm risking a lot by letting you roam free. That I'm risking everything for so little gain. But I'm not going to compromise the principles, the vision this project's founded on, simply to ensure its success. There'd be no point in doing all this, otherwise... She explains, confident as only she can be, her gaze filled with as much outrage as forgiveness. Besides, how am I meant to be angry when I couldn't be more proud? Every time you risk your life for someone, every time you forsake the rules in favor of what you believe is right, only shows me I made the right call when I gave you that body. I was about to say, yeah, giving you that life. Think about it. If they had rules in place for his body as a robot, do not engage or do this, but he then somehow overrides those rules and says, fuck it, I'm saving people. Doesn't that prove the humanity in him? I don't know. Going back to the game, and that's one choice I won't ever regret. So she says, an answer as inspiring as it is disappointing. Honestly, I wonder what exactly I need to do before you stop bending over backwards trying to defend me. You mumbled with a faint smile, not feeling proud of yourself in the least. The one in the feline's visage, on the other hand, is much more genuine. Now you're just talking like Jasper. I swear that date you two went on really messed you up. Despite your best efforts, you end up chuckling at her quip, sudden as it is. You hardly have time to complain before she continues. Besides, it's not like you're purposely going out of your way to try and sabotage us. You're just trying to live your life and stand by your friends. It's not your fault they're involved in all this. Weird. Fucking bullshit, actually. She mumbles to herself like they're unsure how else to describe the situation. Actually, that's true. I was like, what are the odds that the people you met, your friends, destiny, or whatever, if you do believe something like that? I kind of do, I'm like a bit in the middle, you know? Yeah, it's like, wow, what a weird case of like coincidences. Earning another hesitant chuckle out of you, which she wastes no time capitalizing on. There you go, finally making some progress, cracking through that shell. Oh my god, really? That's her priority right now? Making me feel better? You reply, embittered over the way your friends treated you thus far. On one hand, you're relieved the cat keeps having your back no matter what, but on the other, thinking back to what you just did, you can't help but feel angry over how nonchalantly she's handling your case. Oh, come on! Are you gonna keep that frown on your face all day? Whatever did you do to act so pissy today that you didn't already do last time? She kinda has a point. They can easily check the logs. She saw all of this shit happen. She saw the gun thing and the train happen. I'm pretty sure they already got the whole thing, but they're just like letting this thing. It's actually a good experiment for him. Monitoring his vitals. When you think about it, okay, he's in this weird scenario, like really extreme stressful scenarios. What is he gonna do? He's a synthetic. Usually they just stand down, not mind their business, not their problem, you know? But he keeps throwing himself in there like he's some fucking, like he's got that Superman complex. But he also does not have that Superman complex because he sees himself as so little. He's such a fucking conundrum when you think about it. She casually asks as though she didn't know the answer already. In the infuriating way she says, it is enough for all of your anxiety and insecurities to spring out of her lips. How about killing a guy for starters, a synthetic no less? How is that not concerning enough? How does that not make you mad? How does that not make you hate me? I mean, okay, murder, whatnot, but then, okay, let's be realistic here. IRL, horrible stuff is happening to some other person out there that doesn't really deserve any of that shit happening. Think about that. Could be a child, could be a teenager, an adult, doesn't matter what age, okay? Still bad. So you turning out some kind of dirtbag, you know, it's like, okay, what we're gonna do? Mourn the guy? Oh, he was such a cool synthetic. It was a cool synthetic, not gonna lie, but you know, it's kind of murderous vibe giving off. You shout out loud, waves of pain coursing through your body at every turn as you struggle against your chair. It really doesn't make any sense. Why would Mary not bat an eye to your actions today? Is she really that cold-hearted? Whatever you were thinking, it quickly dissolves into dust as a familiar smirk appears on the feline's lips. Killing a guy? Come on, Isaac, who exactly do you take me for? You really think we did such a sloppy job? Oh, interesting. Damn, they built these things like fucking, like really put in the money as tanks. Holy shit! I can see why people are investing in it. Think about this. You now have your soul, consciousness, whatever is now proven. You can just put in a fucking body of this size and it's customizable. It's like in IRL roleplay, but you can do it. Customize your shit, man. After all the lengths we went through to let you live a second time, no less. Oh, now I remember. Cybernetics are those like add-ons, right? You got a metal arm, leg, cyberpunkish like features. Cyborgs are like robots, robos. Was it like a synth humans, synthetic humans? But since the word synthetic isn't the first thing, you could argue they're human-like in features, but they're more metal still inside. They're still a bit more robo-like, not like RoboCop. For the first time since this entire conversation began, you lay perfectly still with your mouth agape. No doubt to the unspoken relief of the drones working on you if they were capable of such a thing. You're kidding, right? My tail exploded right in his face. I wrecked that guy's body beyond recognition. I watched the life ebb from his eyes. Yeah, that's a good description of what happened, alright. Although, there's no need to tell me all that. I mean, seriously? Who do you think came up with that half-baked plan in the first place? She asked, leaving you completely flabbergasted, and she's clearly not done either. As I've already told you, my man, many times, synthetic bodies are more durable than they might seem at first glance, which is already quite a lot. But I assure you, a synthetic's black box is even more durable. So, oh yeah, like a plane's black box. In the case of unfortunate events like an accident or a plane crash, a black box would absolutely survive it. Unless it's lost in like the ocean or whatever, the ocean floor, then it's a bit iffy. But I assure you, synthetic's black box is even more durable. Still, it would take some serious specialized drilling tool to even put a dent in one. The only reason our little tactic worked as well as it did was because his prototype body was made with lesser materials. That, and we got very lucky. You know what, when I think about it, I'm curious, the black box is what stores the memories, right? It's like a hard drive, but it's not. Because they did say it's not exactly machine. Or it is, but they somehow... I'm not fucking thinking the science behind this. It's so... It's destroying my mind. Put in the soul, unless you're talking about the soul in the body is in some sense just information, and you could put that tiny little information like 18 or 19 kilobytes of data, or is it 27? I can't remember. Put it in there, bada boom bada beam, you're alive. Welcome back. You respawn. Come back to the game. I'm yapping again. I see. Though it's hard for you to accept given the sight you bore witness to today, her explanation makes a great deal of sense. Especially considering everything else you know about synthetics so far. But still, I saw him lose consciousness. I saw him die. What you saw was the connection between his body and his black box, dwindling out. Most likely, nothing too concerning, I assure you. I mean, wouldn't that kill him too? The fuel that powers the black box is stored in the main body. If that connection is severed, then kaput. Then the black box goes into a hibernation mode, like Purgatorio, a sort of dreamless sleep, if you will, or a comatose state. It's not pretty, I'll admit. It's total sensory deprivation at its worst, like floating in the black void, only capable of the most basic thoughts. I don't know how long you've been there. How do you engineer this stuff? I'm like imagining this. How do you even do this? But at least you're still alive, and the lessened energy expenditure means you can survive for upwards of 2 to 3 days. Enough times for us to swoop in, snatch that credence black box, and stuff him in a new body, one without arms or legs or much of anything, really. That's actually more horrible. Might as well just put him out of his misery. Sounds utterly terrifying, you must admit. Enough so to make you shiver in your seat to the drone's annoyance. I guess that makes sense. So that's what that cleanup crew Natalie mentioned earlier was for. Pretty much. And speaking of, they should arrive on the scene in a few minutes if they're not late. They'll relocate all the unconscious fighters to less visible areas of town and erase all evidence that a fight even took place. Damn, this fucking corporation, it's cyberpunk 2077 corpo levels of like secrecy, But then again, they did mention Pandora was at the time owned most of the world's like countries and governments, not even because every production line from medicine to food to things they need, they got it. But then freaking Skynet happened, and then they won, and then they kind of lost. Pandora kind of lost some of that edge by at least like 60-ish%. But they lost like not 60, but they've lost like half at least, right, of power. But that's still like running. Think about this: you have the power to do stuff politically and all this shit with resources equivalent to half the world. So like have most of the actual powerful governments, right? That's crazy. All right, it's just wild to me, man. Once his black box is back at the labs, we can place him in a new temporary body and begin interrogating him. Interrogating him? Gulp? Gee, golly, Mary. Oh, figuring out who he is, how he got that body, and why he's collaborating with those men. I'm sure it'll be a very slow and painful process, and if it isn't, I'll make it so. That is terrifying to say the least. The technology has reached it's reached so high levels of advancedness that someone could, if you're synthetic. No, she freaking created like a comatose black void black box state when you're cut off from your main body, if the body freaking not functions. So the void, that's That's another interesting thing. Well, that's just dreadful. Seeing how incredibly difficult it is to get on this woman's bad side, you can't help but wonder just how awful a time that sicko's going to have under duress from her. That doesn't sound particularly legal, honestly, and I'm not only referring to the torture. Oh, come on, as if anything that those men did to you and your friends was in any way legal either. What goes around always comes around, Isaac. Or would you prefer we leave anything to chance and risk you and your friends' safety? I'm fucking loving this game, man. Who wrote this? I suppose not. Fact is, as questionable as Mary's methods may seem at first glance, they're also very much necessary, or at the very least, that's what it seems like. Once more, Mary's persuasion skills have you folding in no time. Perhaps the scariest part of her whole spiel was how readily you agreed to her viewpoint once it became clear that you hadn't murdered that monster. Well, she's kinda baddie, not gonna lie. I'll fold as well, even she kinda old. I guess I'm just a little shaken by everything that happened today. As you should be. It's not every day that something this complicated happens, and it's not something the average person's trained to handle either. But the hope is that you won't have to deal with this anymore. Once we find out more about what's in the midst of her speech, Mary is interrupted by a loud melody playing on repeat, coming from her coat's pockets. Without delay, she quickly shoves her hand in there and swiftly extracts what seems to be a very familiar tablet. Ah, there you are. What's the situation? I think that's a cleanup crew. She asks as she takes a hold of the device with both hands so as to hone it on her face. Her familiar tone of voice suggests she's speaking to a friend, but it's quite clearly a colleague on the other end of the line. She really does seem to treat every member of her team with a great deal of respect. Though for whatever reason her voice loses most of its cordiality not long after. Let me guess, the whole place has been already cleaned up. Excuse me? You can't hear what is being said on the other end of the call, but it's enough to send a shiver down the woman's spine. You've got to be kidding me. How did they... She slams her feet down with remarkable anger. She suddenly turns around as if looking for some privacy. Great. That's what we needed. What do you mean, what do you do? Secure the perimeter, scrub the air of any evidence, and see if we can find any of those fuckers hiding somewhere. And call me once you're done, alright? I'll be in touch. Without another word, she abruptly ends the call. From what little you can see, it appears she's trying to stuff the tablet back in her coat, but her anger is making it more difficult than it needs to be. Once she's done with that whole endeavor, she practically spins around faster than a moving car. From this angle, the infuriated expression on her visage is all the more apparent. What was that? You asked, already dreading the answer. That was from the cleanup crew, wasn't it? What did they say? Her eyes briefly turned to I think I know what's gonna. Her eyes briefly turned to face the ground while her hands tied into fists. Evidently, you're not the only one anxious over what was said. It's gone. Gone? You mean the synthetic? I mean everything. The body, the black box, and all those morons that were with him too. Like nothing ever happened. You're telling me there's some secret organization out there that Pandora can't Ooh! The plot thickens. I thought it was just some kind of nobody organization, but it could also be low level. Think about this. You could be the biggest fucking organization ever, but there's gonna be some cracks in the system. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? You're gonna, unless you have to sacrifice everyone's privacy 102% or whatever to know what's happening. Oh, they're planning something, you know. But clearly they're not 100. Pandora got weakened, okay? Like nothing ever happened. She concludes, her anger morphing into clear irritation. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. Fountain's still trash beyond recognition, and the place still reeks of a fight. But without those things, what the hell are we supposed to gather about those people? She asked aloud, restless and disappointed. How the hell does something like this even happen? How do so many hooligans and a synthetic just poof, Houdini out of the air? You know, like thin air, my man. I don't know. You think they recovered from their injuries and walked it off? Or maybe the reinforcements arrived before your colleagues did? You suggest, just as shocked about the situation as your friend. But then, right as the reality of the situation begins to hit you, something else the scientist said earlier begins prodding at the back of her mind. The shock quickly turns to concern. Wait a moment. What about his friends? Mary turns to look at you, quickly spotting the furrowed brow in her visor, even in the midst of her ponderings. Earlier on, you said that Synthetic's body was a prototype made of inferior materials. Yeah? What about it? It's just. How could you tell? I doubt you knew that off the top of your head. It's hardly evident. He looked nearly the same as I did. So, how did you know his body was different even before you helped neutralize him? Mother Mary's secrets. I'm gonna end this video right here, everyone. I know it's a bit like early, should be an hour, but hey, this is what it is. I'm slowly getting the groove back together. Okay, I'm getting in there. Pause. Okay, I must stop now. It's getting weird, or maybe you like that. I don't know. Subscribe, like, comment, share to friends and loved ones. We're going back in, baby. Back to the OG schedule. I'm hoping so. I'll try my best. Sacrifice my health. Let's go. For you. No, I'm kidding. Good night. See ya. Sweet dreams, everyone. Bye.